YAML is a human-readable data serialization format that takes concepts from programming languages such as C, Perl, and Python, and ideas from XML in the data format of electronic mail. YAML was first proposed by Clark Evans in 2001, who designed it together with Ingi Dar Paragraph TNet and Oren Ben-Ki. It is available for several programming languages. YAML is a recursive acronym for YAML Ain't Markup Language. Early in its development, YAML was said to mean yet another markup language, but it was then reinterpreted to distinguish its purpose as data-oriented, rather than document markup. Features: YAML syntax was designed to be easily mapped to data types common to most high-level languages: list, associative array, and scalar. Its familiar indented outline and lean appearance make it especially suited for tasks where humans are likely to view or edit data structures, such as configuration files, dumping during debugging, and document headers. Although well suited for hierarchical data representation, it also has a compact syntax for relational data. Its line and whitespace delimiters make it friendly to ad hoc grep Perl Ruby operations. A major part of its accessibility comes from eschewing the use of enclosures such as quotation marks, brackets, braces, and open-close tags, which can be hard for the human eye to balance in nested hierarchies. Examples: sample document, data structure hierarchy is maintained by outline indentation. Notice that strings do not require enclosure in quotations. The specific number of spaces in the indentation is unimportant as long as parallel elements have the same left justification and the hierarchically nested elements are indented further. The sample document defines an associative array with 7 top-level keys. One of the keys, items, contains a 2-element array, each element of which is itself an associative array with differing keys. Relational data and redundancy removal are displayed. The ship to associative array content is copied from the build to associative arrays content as indicated by the anchor and reference labels. Optional blank lines can be added for readability. Multiple documents can exist in a single file stream and are separated by an optional can be used at the end of a file. Language elements, basic components of YAML. YAML offers both an indented and an inline style for denoting associative arrays and lists. Here is a sample of the components. Lists. Conventional block format uses a hyphen plus space to begin a new item and list. Optional inline format is delimited by comma plus space and enclosed in brackets. Associative arrays. Keys are separated from values by colon plus space. Indented blocks, common in YAML data files, use indentation and new lines to separate the key, value pairs. Inline blocks, common in YAML data streams, use comma plus space to separate the key, value pairs between braces. Block literals, strings do not require quotation. New lines preserved. By default, the leading indent and trailing white space is stripped, though other behavior can be explicitly specified. New lines folded. Folded text converts new lines to spaces and removes leading white space. Hierarchical combinations of elements, lists of associative arrays. Associative arrays of lists. Advanced components of YAML, 2 features that distinguish YAML from the capabilities of other data serialization languages are structures and data typing. Structures. YAML structures enable storage of multiple documents within single file, usage of references for repeated nodes, and usage of arbitrary nodes as keys. Repeated nodes, for clarity, compactness, and avoiding data entry errors. YAML provides node anchors and references. References to the anchor work for all data types. Below is an example of a queue-in instrument sequencer in which 2 steps are reused repeatedly without being fully described each time. Data types. Explicit data typing is seldom seen in the majority of YAML documents since YAML auto-detects simple types. Data types can be divided into 3 categories: core, defined, and user-defined. Core are ones expected to exist in any parser. Many more advanced data types, such as binary data, are defined in the YAML specification but not supported in all implementations. Finally, YAML defines a way to extend the data type definitions locally to accommodate user-defined classes, structures or primitives. Casting data types, YAML auto-detects the data type of the entity. Sometimes one wants to cast the data type explicitly. The most common situation is a single word string that looks like a number. Boolean or tag may need disambiguation by surrounding it with quotes or use of an explicit data type tag. Other specified data types. Not every implementation of YAML has every specification-defined data type. These built-in types use a double exclamation sigil prefix. Particularly interesting ones not shown here are sets, ordered maps, timestamps, and hexadecimal. Here's an example of base 64 encoded binary data. Extension for user-defined data types. Many implementations of YAML can support user-defined data types. This is a good way to serialize an object. Local data types are not universal data types but are defined in the application using the YAML parser library. Local data types use a single exclamation mark. Syntax. A compact cheat sheet as well as a full specification are available at the official site. The following is a synopsis of the basic elements. YAML streams are encoded using the set of printable Unicode characters either in UTF-8 or UTF-16. For JSON compatibility, the UTF-32 encodings must also be supported in input. White space indentation is used to denote structure. However, tab characters are never allowed as indentation. Comments begin with the number sign, can start anywhere on a line and continue until the end of the line. Comments must be separated from other tokens by white space characters. Unless they appear inside of a string, then they are number sign literals. List members are denoted by a leading hyphen with one member per line, or enclosed in square brackets and separated by comma space. Associative arrays are represented using the colon space in the form key, value either one per line or enclosed in curly braces and separated by comma space. An associative array key may be prefixed with a question mark to allow for liberal multi-word keys to be represented unambiguously. Strings are ordinarily unquoted, but may be enclosed in double quotes, or single quotes. Within double quotes, special characters may be represented with C-style escape sequences starting with a backslash. According to the documentation, the only octal escape supported is \0. Block scalars are delimited with indentation with optional modifiers to preserve or fold new lines. Multiple documents within a single stream are separated by 3 hyphens. 3 periods optionally end a file within a stream. Repeated nodes are initially denoted by an ampersand and thereafter referenced with an asterisk. Nodes may be labeled with a type or tag using the exclamation point followed by a string, which can be expanded into a URI. YAML documents in a stream may be preceded by directives composed of a % followed by a name and space delimited parameters. 2 directives are defined in YAML 1.1, the %YAML direct